Hey friends. I filmed this video not this current intro, but this video several hours ago, and it wound up being just as rambly as I hoped it wouldn't be. But welcome to my brain, and welcome to my brain after pneumonia and stressed out. So I feel like social media has kind of trained us, or it's just kind of been the status quo for people to show only the best parts of their life, of their space, of their selves. Like, it's always the best. It has to only be the best. And that's just not real life for me. Maybe it's real life for other people, but it's not real life for me. And I don't want to be someone who only posts the good stuff, or only posts when I have results or something like that. My therapist and I didn't see her for several weeks, but I saw her last Thursday. And one thing she asked me, she's like, have you thought about being, doing some kind of mentoring for trauma and stuff like that? And I was like, I mean, I don't want to be a therapist or anything like that. I was like, I do share my journey and my story on a YouTube channel. I was like, but I haven't thought much further than that, because I don't know that I feel like I can mentor anybody about trauma. Holy crap on a cracker. So last week was the first time we met in 3 weeks, and it was rough, and I had to tell her everything about my mother, like beginning to end, and that was rough, and it made that day rough. And I've been really struggling. I've been really struggling. And so this video hopefully makes some sort of sense. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. If it's cut up kind of choppy, it's because I'm like, what am I talking about? I'm still having issues with cognition. I don't know who I need to talk to about that, but it is not getting any better, and it's starting to really bother me more than anything. So yeah. So I love you guys. I really do. And I used a word today with my therapist, and she's like, Misty, that's a really strong word. And I used the word invalid. And I don't know why I see myself as that. I don't know why that was the first word that popped into my head. But we were talking about independence and stuff, and that's kind of the word that popped out of my mouth. Now, it could just be because my brain is broken and that's how it rolls. But I also feel like I need to dig a little bit deeper and see if that's actually a deep-seated fear or misunderstanding of myself that I have. So there's a lot of work. Therapy is work. Don't let anybody tell you. And if you're not working in therapy, you're doing it wrong. I'm just kidding. Unless you're just being completely ignored by your therapist. I think having any kind of therapy is good. And I am very blessed that we pay a lot of money to have health insurance and that we can afford to do that. So I don't take it for granted at all. And so, but I don't want to just show the good days, and because they're so rare anyway. But we all have setbacks. And one thing that she's trying to ingrain in my brain is that I have to give myself grace. And I have to lower the expectations I've set for myself. And I just have to be okay with I have to meet myself where I'm at. And that for me is not an easy task. So again, this video is kind of rambly. It's probably an hour long. I don't even remember. My eye look was cute though. My hair looked cute. It's going to fall out, you guys. I'm going to be bald. I'm going to be bald soon. So anyway, I'm going to edit this to the beginning of the video, and hopefully the rest of the video makes some sense to you. But yeah, let's go talk. Let me switch to made up me to talk. When was the last time I posted an update over here? It's been probably 109.72 years. 15 days ago. Holy Moses. You guys are overdue. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. You guys are extremely overdue. If I have lipstick in the corners of my mouth, it's just gonna have to happen. That's my husband checking the mail. It is hot as balls here today. Oh no, did I get it on my shirt? Nah, sure didn't. Okay, friends. Hi. If you're new here or new to my channel, hello, my name is Misty. I am on a journey. I'm just on the life journey, you guys. I have aspiration. Is that the right word? I hope that I will lose 100 pounds over the next year so I can have a C2 to T2 fusion. I am also documenting just kind of my life with chronic illness and chronic pain, and trying to provide a supportive community, a safe community for people like me who may be homebound or really sick and in a lot of pain, and you just don't understand it until you experience it. So I'm sharing my journey and my life and my struggles to let you know, number one, you're not alone, and number two, you got this. We both got this. I didn't realize it had been 15 days. Oh my word. So in 15 days, I saw the new immunologist, the hand surgeon, and the pain management doctor. Jizz. Okay. So I have that tendon thing. I'll pop it up on the, he is like, yeah, that's what this is. He's like, it's just a disease where basically the 3 tendons of your thumb rub against each other or something. And he said, you can do it just moving your thumb. And I'm like, oh, good to know. I said, because that's basically what happened. So he said, we can give you a shot. Oh, that smells off. What the hell? I just opened that. No, yeah, no, that's off. Ooh. Okay, so what was I talking about? Okay, so he said, you know, and this was, oh my word. Let's start over, Misty. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Okay. All of that was true. Let me take a breath. I saw the hand surgeon. Okay. And the hand surgeon said I had that tendositis or whatever it's called. He said it's basically where the 3 tendons of your thumb kind of meet and they rub together, and it causes inflammation and stuff. And he said, what have you been doing? I said, well, we're braced. I said, I've basically been in a brace since like mid-March. And then I said, it's been inflamed. So I've been putting like an anti-inflammatory on top of it. And I said, I've been using diclofenac. And that led us like a literal carousel. I started talking about why I had diclofenac. And then I was like, wait, why am I telling you all of this? And I was like, oh, diclofenac. And then I ended up telling him about the C2 to T2 fusion. He said, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He said, that's big. I said, I know. Trust me. I know you're not telling me anything I don't already know. So he said, I can give you a shot today. He said, you know, either way, he said, or we can give it some time and you can come back because you said it's gotten better. And I said, when should I wear the brace? And he said, if you have issues doing a particular task, then that's when you really need to think about using the brace. And I said, okay. So for me, that's normally when I'm like carrying something because it's definitely my thumb. Asked him if my trigger finger had anything to do with it. And he said, no, it's the tendon on the back. And then he said, you know, we can come in and give you a shot. He's like, it'll hurt a little bit. And I was like, I said, I get facet injections without anesthesia. I said, I've got a pretty high pain tolerance. And he said, are you kidding me? I was like, no. I said, it's faster than getting an IV. So I'm spraying alcohol on my hands, hoping to get rid of the smell of the lotion. So that was that. He said I was welcome to come back, you know, if I needed to. But as far as he's concerned, if it's healing, it's healing. And it just needs time and it just needs anti-inflammatory, et cetera, et cetera. So that was the hand surgeon. And I said, yeah, I said, this referral was sent in the 1st of August. And this, of course, was like mid-September. And I said, by now, you know, it's basically almost better. And he's like, yeah, he said, but that's good. And I said, yes, you are correct. So that was the hand surgeon. I saw my pain management doctor and she was like, I'm guessing because you're here, that means you're not having surgery. And I told her, I was like, no, got pneumonia in May. I said, I don't feel comfortable having the surgery. I said, and I saw her on Friday. I said, today would have been my surgery date. I was like, no, I didn't. Who did it? Oh, that was the Durant doctor. Never mind. I said, my surgery date would have been the end of August. And I said, I can't even imagine already having that surgery. And she said, well, what's going on? And I said, we really need to do something with my thoracic area. I said, my regular doctor said it's like T10. And she's like, yeah, you got a bulging disc there. So with my insurance, and I don't know if this is all insurance, you have to start with what's called facet injections. So I guess it's the joints that are called the facet joints go down your spine. And a lot of times that's where like the nerve is. Again, not a doctor. This is just how it's been explained to me. You're going to have to Google it. And they insert the needle into the nerve. They basically put in a type of lidocaine and they numb it. And depending on the amount of relief you get to do it again. And if you still get really good relief, then you're going to get a rhizotomy. And the reason why it's so important that it works, because if it doesn't work and you only get like 30 or 40% better, it's not going to do you any good to have them again and again. Now, do I recommend you having them for the first time without anesthesia? No. I just feel like you can feel the needle go into the nerve and it hurts like a son of a bitch. But it hurts like for a split second because they put the numbing medication in. It sometimes takes them 30 to 40 minutes to try to find a vein to put in an IV. And I scheduled my next appointment for October 4th at 6 a.m. So it's like, and they've changed protocols. Number one, I have to be off Wegovy for 8 days. So she had to get clearance from my endocrinologist. Number two, I have to be on a liquid diet 24 hours before surgery and then NPO 12 hours before surgery. And I'm like, what are we doing? But they joined a new like umbrella company or whatever. And I was like, Lord have mercy on my soul. We're going to have to do this every time I have a facet injection. She's like, yeah. So we'll have the facet injections on Friday the 4th. I think we're doing T10, T11, T12. I had no idea that your thoracic spine was so big. I had no idea. So, yeah, I got a bulging disc there. This is not going to heal that, but it will help with the nerve pain. I said it's right. I said I feel like it's right at my rib cage. And she said, yeah. And she's like, can I feel? I'm like, yeah. And she poked it and I was like, oh. She's like, found it. I was like, yeah, you did. So I am looking forward to that as much as you can look forward to someone sticking a really big needle in a nerve while you're awake. But again, I don't want to mess around. And she's like, well, you're going to get anesthesia when you do the rhizotomy, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to let you burn me and make you awake. It's like, no. I said, but, you know, again, the IV is almost traumatizing. Like, I hate it. They always blow a vein. It takes them 4 or 5 sticks. I'm like, I would just rather, again, it's a split second. You feel the needle go in the nerve and then it's numb. And then we're good to go. So that was that. So we'll start on the 4th, then I'll see her 2 weeks after. And if it worked well, then we'll do the next one. I'll see her 2 weeks after. And then hopefully I'll be able to have my rhizotomy November-ish. A rhizotomy is when they go, it's called a nerve ablation. They literally go in and they kill the nerve. They burn that part of the nerve. And it gives you, it's supposed to give you relief from nerve pain. Now, I had one in my lower back done in the fall of 2022 and it didn't help. In fact, today I am filming this on what day? Is this the 16th? Yeah, I'm filming this on September 16th. I got a Facebook memory where I was talking about how I had a rhizotomy and I hope it helped and it didn't. The fall of 2022 was rough. I had that abscess that was literally the size of a softball. And then I had the nerve pain in my lower back that nothing helped except for an epidural, and the epidural only lasted like 3 or 4 hours. So I lived at a very high pain tolerance. Now my therapist and I talked about that today, and I told her, I said, it's one of 2 times where I honestly sat down and questioned if I have it in me to do this long term. I said, because at the time I was 44 years old. And, you know, I don't know how long God's going to give me, but can I do this 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road? Am I going to be able to handle this? And I don't know the answer to that question. So I told her, it's like that's one of the things I said, but because we were talking about, again, we're going through the eating and why am I, can't stop eating unhealthily or whatever we're going to call it. So let me go through the immunologist first and then we'll talk about therapy. Okay. I saw my new immunologist on Tuesday. What was that? The 2nd? Nope. 5th? 6th? 4th? I don't remember. Seriously, I don't remember. The 9th. No, that wasn't last week. It was the 2nd. No, couldn't have been the 2nd. It was the 3rd. Did they leave me? Sorry, I'm looking. Did they leave me a voicemail? No. Okay. So the new immunologist is fantastic. Now, this was just a consultation. Like, there wasn't going to be anything. Like, he wasn't going to prescribe anything. This was just to sit down and talk. So I took my genetic testing. I took all of the blood work that had already been done. So all of the test results. And he sat with us for a good 45 minutes and was like, this doesn't mean you have CVID. And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, what do you want to do about it? I said, well, the last doctor talked about IVIG. He's like, do you want to do that? I said, no. I said, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to have CVID. I don't want any of it. I don't want any of this at all. No, thank you. And I said, if I hadn't had genetic testing, I would just go on my life thinking I had a bad immune system and poor pitiful me, right? Sorry, that popped in my head because I heard that Terry Clark song yesterday. Poor, poor, pitiful me. So anyway, I was like, I don't want to have any of it. So I said, the one thing that was really concerning for me, I said, is she said, after I had the pneumonia vaccine, that my body really had no response to the vaccine. And I said, I feel like maybe that's the same way with COVID. I said, because I never got side effects from any of the COVID vaccines. He's like, we really don't know that. He's like, but I do want the record of your shot. And I said, okay. So I did get Tom Thumb to fax it over. So he called the next day. He called and he was like, she was right, or they were right, that, I literally had no response to the pneumonia vaccine. And the whole point of a vaccine is to up your antibodies, right? I think. Misty, you're not a doctor. And I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. So anyway, he said, I want to get more blood work. And he said, if you're taking something that has biotin in it, I really need you to be off of that for 3 days. So I take hair, skin, and nails, although it doesn't matter because I will be bald. I will be bald by probably February. And I'm not going to cry about it because I'm marked out on the struggle bus. And so I went and had my blood work done. And I've been getting, I'm like, where are my glasses? I've been getting results back. I haven't heard from him because they're not all back. But let's talk about them. So if CVID is common variable immunodeficiency, and it means that my immune system sucks, basically. I either don't have one or the one I have is clearly broken. So and how that works is the immune globulin. And I think the immune globulin is in charge of the antibodies. Don't quote me. Again, not a doctor. And I may be remembering it wrong. Like, seriously. Seriously. So yeah, my immune system has been shot for years, actually. So where are my test results? I was kind of surprised about my test results and maybe not surprised about my test results. So he was like, I'm going to do some allergy. He said, I'm going to do, some other testing. And I was like, okay, that's fine. What? Check your order history. Sorry, you have no test results? Are you, what are we doing? So he did a respiratory allergy panel, region X. I don't know what that means. He did mites and mold grouping, and I tested way positive for I don't know, MC something. It's a type of mold, and it's the most common type of mold allergy that a lot of people have, but it is I don't know if it affects IgE, like immune globulin E, or if being low on immune globulin E causes it. Again, I haven't spoken to my doctor. I've just looked at the test results. But that should be in, let's see, what's the range? Like 0 to 10 is, you know, okay. Mine is 56. So clearly I have a mold allergy, and something around me is a lot of mold. But it literally says it can be grass. It can be soil, plants, cereal grains, grass, corn, silage, rotten wood, bricks, canvas, iron, compost, and bird nests. So it can be a lot of different things that causes it. And again, I don't know if being low on E causes it, or if that causes being low on E. I don't know if they are calibrated together. Oh, IgE class levels provide an indication of the severity of a suspected allergy. Okay. Mountain cedar, which I already knew. And then we get down into my immune globulins. Can you see the red? You can see the red. Okay. So immune globulin M is just a little low. It should be 50. It's 42. So immune globulin G has a lot of things. There's 4 subclasses and then like I think an overall serum. So my immune globulin G subclass 1, it should be over 382. Mine's 308. Immune globulin G subclass 2, it should be 241. Mine's 183. Serum should be 600. Mine's 597. So not a huge difference there. My thyroid tested fine. I don't have diphtheria. I don't have a tetanus issue. We are waiting for the SARS-CoV-2AB total spike semi, whatever that means. So yeah, not terrifying, but clearly I'm having some sort of issue with my immune globulin. Oh, and that mold causes pneumonia, upper respiratory infections, bronchitis, asthma, and pneumonia, and a couple other things. So I told him, I said, you know, I was diagnosed with allergy-induced asthma back in like 2014, 2013. And I said, you know, like 2016-ish, I felt better, and I didn't even need anything until I got COVID last year. And I said, then it took a while for me to get to the point where I didn't need a breathing treatment, or I didn't need my rescue inhaler. And I said, you know, the same thing has gone this year. And I told him about when I had pneumonia. I said, you know, I didn't have any congestion. I didn't have anything in my head. I didn't have anything in my chest. And, you know, it was like I was breathing treatment after breathing treatment after breathing treatment, and then went to the emergency room, and I said, there was nothing on my chest x-ray, and he didn't hear anything. I said, but I tested positive for double pneumonia through a CT scan. So that happened. What else did we talk about? Oh, he asked me if I wanted to go on Advair. And he said it's maintenance. It would be twice a day. I said, can we give it a couple more months? I said, if a couple more months, because they gave me a breathing test. That's the other thing I thought about. He's like, I want to to make sure you don't have any lung inflammation and that like you're breathing normally. So they had this cute little test, and there was this cute little cloud, and you had to keep the cloud in between these 2 lines by breathing, and you couldn't breathe too much and you couldn't breathe too less. It took me 5 times to get it, but I finally did. And so he said, you know, you don't have any inflammation in your lungs, and your lungs look good. And I said, well, they still hurt. And I wonder if that isn't the nerve pain or the bulging disc, because it's right where my lungs are. So that might be why. I don't have any idea. So, ooh, I need a drink. We tentatively made an appointment for next month, because he was like, if everything comes back fine, he's like, there's really no use for us seeing each other. And I'm like, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that. So clearly there is stuff on the blood work that we need to talk about. I have no idea what he's going to recommend. I'm open to it. He reminds me of Christopher Kimball. If you've ever watched, well, he used to be on America's Test Kitchen and Cooking Illustrated, and I think he has his own show now. I don't know. Anyway, he looked exactly like, not exactly like, but pretty close. Pretty close. And he was fantastic. I really liked him. And again, he called me personally the next day and was like, you know, this is what I'm seeing and this is what I'd like you to get done. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. I don't want one more thing. Like, I really, really don't want more thing. But, right? It just is what it is. I got to do what I got to do. So, yeah. I'm just tired, you guys. I have not been eating well. That's why you haven't seen any meals. So where that appointment was, I asked Rob, I was like, are we close to Two Guys? So Two Guys from Italy, is that south? Yeah, south on Webb Chapel at 635 in Webb Chapel. It's actually just past Forest on Webb Chapel going south. Some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life. If you've ever had the good Massachusetts pizza, not like the thin crust pizza, but like just the good, I don't know how to describe it, but it's so flippin' good and very inexpensive. We got a large with pepperoni, sausage, and then they hand slice their meatballs. Oh, it has fresh mozzarella. It's $19. And it's Rob's favorite place. And so I was like, you want to stop and get a pizza? And he was like, oh yeah, let's do that. So I had pizza that day. And I'm like, okay, great. This is, you know, tomorrow I'll get back on it. And I think I did. And then I don't remember what happened, but it's like all hell broke loose. So last Thursday, I finally saw my therapist. It had been weeks since I'd seen her. Almost, probably even close to a month. And that was a very hard appointment. I had to start at basically birth or a couple of years old and tell her everything about my relationship with my mother. And it was awful. This is why I saved this video for last, because I'm like, you're gonna cry. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. It was at the end of the night, it was like 7:38. I told her, I was like, I'm ready to go to bed. And he's like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay. I said, you know, having to relive all that again. And I said, and there's a prescription lidocaine patch shortage, which I don't understand that. Make it make sense. I've been without lidocaine patches for like a month. So we finally had to go, we got the Aspercream extra large, and he's been cutting them in half. And they've helped. They're 4%. And I'm like, 1% shouldn't be that big of a difference. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I was like, I'm really irritated because, you know, I've been in a lot of pain the last few weeks. And I said, it has nothing to do with you. I was like, my brain is just done, you know, and I just want to go read. And that's what I did. And I think I read until 3:30 in the morning. So it was a lot of reading. And I just needed to give my brain a break from that. And then the next day was Spravato. So if you don't know, Spravato is an inhalant. It's for medicine-resistant depression. I've been doing this now since like March, and we'd been doing every other week. But Labor Day fell, and then the pharmacy didn't send the medication in time, and I got so sick this time, like so sick. Yeah, I've mentioned before that it feels like having vertigo and altitude sickness at the exact same time. I actually ended up vomiting at home. And that is the first time I vomited when we went up back in April. But yeah, I was just like, holy crap on a cracker. So Friday, I had that incident, and then I slept for like 6 hours. Did I eat that night? I don't remember. Saturday, oh yeah, Rob went shopping, and I had him get me some baby carrots. We got some grapes, got some watermelon. I even grabbed me some chicken so I can make some chicken for my chicken Caesar chicken Caesar salads for the week. What else did we get? I don't remember, but yeah. We had Burger Island on Saturday. If you're around the Dallas area and you've ever wondered, it's so good. It's so good. So yeah, we have not been eating well. I actually haven't been eating much at all. Like, I'm still having the chronic constipation, and it's just been like, holy crap on a cracker. And that didn't help on Friday because things were moving, And I told her, I was like, I feel like it almost like pushed up on my stomach or something. And that, because I was literally on the toilet and puking at the exact same time. So yeah, that was not fun. And I told her, I was like, so I took a colon cleanse pill today. I was like, if this doesn't clean me out, I'm going to have to go see the GI doctor. I think we've all theorized that it's probably the Wegovy, but I can't, like, this is dumb. Like, I feel like I need a colonic. Just suck it all out or something like that. It's like, it's just, I feel like it's what's keeping me not feeling well. And again, it's not helping with the back pain. I think they're kind of playing off each other. If you're a woman and you've ever had the period poops, you probably know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's been a struggle. And she and I have been talking about it. So Thursday, it was all about my history with my mother, all of it. Told her everything that I can remember. And we talked about that picture. And I think I told you guys, I was like, I said, I think it was a couple of different things. I said, number one, she looks so old. You know, and I said, I realized that we're like old. Like, she's old, I'm old. And I said, I don't feel like I'm old. Now, I said, some days I feel like I'm in a 90-year-old or in a 90-year-old body. I said, but for the most part, like, age just doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, like, next year, no, 1996 was the year I graduated. So in 2 years, that'll be my 30th high school reunion. I can remember going with Rob to the 20th. So it's like time just is like, time has no meaning. And seeing that picture, and I told her, I was like, she looked just like my grandmother, like just like my grandmother. And I said, and then I told her, you know, how I thought my grandmother had crossed over and I hadn't been dreaming about her. And like, I feel like I can't reach out to her. I've tried and she hasn't, like, I haven't gotten any messages from her, etc. I said, I don't know if you believe that. And she said, I think the picture is because she looks so much like your grandmother and your grandmother loved you and you loved her. And I said, I can see that. She's like, your brain is trying to reconcile how you can see like a mirror image of your grandmother who was abusive. And she said, you know, your brain's probably having a hard time kind of like, you know what I'm talking about? And I was like that could be it. And I told her, I was like, you know, I'm just frustrated. I said, here we are, a year and 10 months, and I haven't lost any more weight whatsoever. And I said, I'm just frustrated with myself. And we were talking about it, and she was like, and I said, we were talking about expectations. And she said, why do you think your expectations for yourself are so high? And I said, I knew from a young age I wanted out. I said I didn't want to live there in that town anymore. I wanted to be somewhere a bit more progressive because I've never shared views of the hometown people. And I said, and I knew from a very young age, the way to get out would be to get an education. And I said, so I've just been, there's no not passing, Misty. You've got to pass. You have to get at least an A or a B. That's why when I got a C in geometry, I wanted to like strangle my geometry teacher who said, when I said, I don't understand what do you mean prove a triangle is a triangle? And he's like, you'll figure it out. And I got a C in that class. Still better 30 years later. So, you know, and I said, oh, I said, nothing I did was ever good enough. I kept raising the bar for myself and nothing was ever good enough. And I said, that might be part of it too. And I said, you know, I talked with my last therapist. I said, you know, am I punishing myself? Like we talked about it again today because I saw her on Thursday and I saw her again today. We're going back on our Monday schedule. And I told her, I was like, I just don't know. She's like, well, why would you be, you know, why would you think you'd be punishing yourself? And I said, I just don't know. I said, I don't know if it's because it's like, okay, Misty, it's been a year and 10 months. What are you doing? I said, I honestly don't know. And she's like, well, why can't you give yourself grace? And we've had that whole conversation again. And then she said, okay, so you've mentioned you wanted to drive and you wanted to take a shower. She said, what does that actually mean to you? And I said, it means independence and autonomy. And she's like, okay. She's like, talk to me about that. I said, I am homebound. I can't go anywhere on my own. I said, you know, we have a Dollar Tree that's about a mile away. I said, I can't even go there. I said, because I would have to Rob would put the walker in the car for me for sure. It's that big rollator. I said, then we would go to, I would drive myself to the Dollar Tree and then struggle to get that walker out, walk most of the Dollar Tree, come back out, struggle to get that walker back in the car, and then have to drive myself home. And we only have the one car. And I said, I wouldn't, it would be impossible. Absolutely impossible for me to do that. And I said, you know, I don't want, like, I refrain from asking Rob to do anything like that during the week or during the weekend because he already does the grocery shopping for us. And I'm like, you know, I have to struggle to get him to just sit. Like, he always feels like he has to be doing something, which is probably from his childhood trauma. But I'm like, you know, just sit, just rest. And I said, I don't want him to have to drive me all over creation, you know, because he's working, you know, 50 hours a week. And, yeah. Oh, I remember what the other stress is. That week of was that the week of the 3rd? No, it was actually last week. Gosh, time. Ugh. So last Thursday, Rob had to go to his job, like the actual place where his job is in downtown Dallas, to get a new computer. They said it'll take 2 to 3 hours for it to get it set up for you. Okay, no, it took 9 hours. He was there all fucking day. Didn't take any kind of charger with him or anything like that because he was expecting to be home in just a few hours. He left the house at 7 so he could get on the train and be there by 9 because he had to walk 20 minutes and stuff like that. So anyway, he was already frustrated. And then around noon, our internet went out. And I was like, are you kidding me? So we pinged it. I reset it. They tried everything. And they were like, it looks like we're going to have to get a technician out. And she said, we can do Monday between 1 and 5. I said, are you kidding me? Monday? And she's like, yeah, Monday. That's the earliest we can do. And so I went into panic mode because Rob works from home. And we tried to borrow Wi-Fi from our neighbor before. She's like, yeah, here's the password. That didn't work. And I'm going, okay, what the hell am I going to do so he can work? Because he's a proofreader. He has to be able to print and scan. And I was like, well, maybe we could go stay at a hotel. And he's like, well, how would that work? And I was like, well, a lot of times hotels will have a business area. I said, I don't know if you'd be able to scan. I said, but surely you would be able to print. I said, you know, in most hotels has that, and I can just call around. And then I was like, I wonder if I can make a hotspot work. So I did. And within, I don't know, an hour, he'd used up all his data. And I'm like, okay. So I got on the phone with T-Mobile. That's who we are with. And I said, he's going to have way more data for a hotspot. I said, he's going to work all day Friday and all day Saturday. Not Saturday. All day Friday and all day Monday. And he's going to need to have internet access. And I said, I can't guarantee or know, like predict how much hotspot data he's going to use. So we bumped it up to 100 gigabytes for $50. So they came on Monday and they fixed the internet. So we had no internet over the weekend. I mean, we both could access our phone, but I tried to do a hotspot with the TV. That didn't work. So the one good thing that came out of it is his sister gave us an antenna and he finally got that hooked up and we get like 60 channels just through the antenna. So we are debating on giving up Hulu because when we first started, Hulu with live TV was like $35. We're almost to $100 and it's not worth it. He watches 2 channels, ESPN and ESPN. You know, HGTV. He likes Bargain Block with Evan and Keith and Evan. And we watch Hometown and stuff like that. Hold on. Oof, my throat. So he was like, I think we can get rid of Hulu. And I'm like, are you sure? And he said, yeah. He said, you know, it's getting so expensive. We've got the antenna in our bedroom and we can, you know, put an antenna out here. And he said, I would be happy. And I said, are you sure? I said, because that's going to severely limit your choice for sports. I said, we can keep Peacock. I said, we can still access the Roku sticks. So Amazon Prime, YouTube, all of that, Netflix. I said, we just won't have Hulu or Disney Plus. I think we've used Disney Plus one time and it was such a hassle. He was like, I'm not doing that again. It's like, I don't blame you. So yeah, I was so flipping stressed. Like I was doing my best. And then I had to do his work computer. Then I had to do his home computer. Then I had to do the printer. And it was like, he literally had to take his phone to both computers. So the hotspot would be strong enough so he could print and scan. And I was just like, ooh. But the problem is he can't go to work because they got rid of the building. Like no one was working from there, so they stopped paying rent on the building. Like they gave that building away. So he was like, if I want to go work downtown, he's like, I have to call several days in advance and ask for a spot. And even then he's not guaranteed one. So, and again, he wouldn't go to Starbucks. He's a proofreader. It has to be quiet. And that's why you guys don't see me do vlogs at the kitchen table unless he's bowling. And I actually filmed a kitchen table vlog last week. And I went to edit it and it was just like, I was just going around and around and around in a circle. And I was like, this makes no sense. So we're going to cut that for sure. So yeah, so she and I are working on the issue. And yeah, I don't even know. She's like, why, Misty? And I was like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why would I do that? And yeah, I don't know. And she and I both said, it's like, I'm not going to be able to unlearn 40 years of emotional eating in a short amount of time. I said, but I have to lose weight. Like, I have to lose weight in order to have, set myself up for the best recovery from surgery that I can have. And I just don't understand why I'm rebelling against myself. Makes no sense. So I don't know. And I told her, I was like, and I said, well, she's like, well, why punishing? I said, because when I eat carbs for a while, when I go on a carb bender for a while, my body hates me. The edema is unreal. It causes, it really increases my inflammation and causes me to have bones and joints and stuff that ache all the time. I said, so I know when I'm putting something in my mouth that really I really need to rethink that. I said, I'm going to end up feeling it, a couple of weeks later. And that's where I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on in my brain at all. And I told her she's like, talk to me about apathy. What does that mean to you? I said, this sounds crazy. I said, but I didn't care. And then I didn't care that I didn't care. And I said, I am not that type of person. I am the type of, I'm like, me, I want to have some control over things. I said, and sometimes that causes me to worry. And I said, I had no worry. I didn't worry at all. Like there was no connection between my subconscious, no inner voice, none of it. It all gone quiet. And I said, that terrifies me. And I said, that's scary. That's a scary place to be. Because in that place, I don't care about anything or anyone, including myself. So I said, that's why, my doctor, my psychiatrist and I, we settled on Spravato. I was like, because I have to have something. Like I have to have some kind of intervention, some kind of help, with all of this depression. And I told her, I was like, I've been sad for weeks. And I said, we talked about it. I said, I don't know if I'm sad. Like this is just the grieving process all over again. I said, I don't know if this is related to my grandmother. I said, I honestly don't understand where the sadness is coming from. And I said, that makes it a little hard to deal with. And I met the owner of the practice that I go to on Friday in the bathroom when I was done. I was a little, she's like, oh, hi. She's like, how is it going? I'm like, good. And I said, sorry, I just had my Spravato treatment and I'm a little all over the place. And she said, oh, she's like, how is that going? And I said, it's going really well. I said, my biggest problem now is I have feelings and I have to process them. So that's where the struggle is right now. So yeah, the bright spot in the last couple of days is my new photo setup for my holiday card series. I'll pop in a picture. It's so flippin' cute. I worked on that yesterday and I've paid for it today, but I love it so very much. I think it's so stinking cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on, what's happening. I did open memberships. I don't know if that's even working. I don't know that I'm in a good headspace right now to offer any kind of support to anyone, even to myself. Like Thursday was rough. And she was like, I was so frustrated with myself. I was like, I thought this was buried. And she's like, you were triggered. She said, it's okay. And she said, you were curious. She's like, don't beat yourself up over looking because you were curious. Clearly you were curious. And she said, that's a normal human, emotion to be curious about something. And then she said, it's okay that you were triggered. It's okay that you were triggered. And I don't understand why my mind completely goes a different direction when we talk about stuff like that. And I told her, I said, I still don't know why I can't loosen the grip of frustration. She's like, I hear a lot of, what's the word she uses? I don't remember. What is the word she uses? I feel like it starts with a G or something. I don't remember. Basically, like, she's like, a lot of blaming yourself, a lot of taking stuff out on you. And she's like, we have to, let's try to figure out why, why are you doing that? And I was like, I don't know. I'm tired, like mentally tired, like I need to take a nap, kind of tired, like not like an hour nap or something, just like a week with my brain off or whatever. Working through emotions is hard work. Like, therapy is so hard. Therapy is hard work. It's hard work. And and that's what I told her. It's like, I sought out therapy. I want to be better and do better. And, I'm just doing the best I can. You know what I mean? And she's like, you're going to have to get to a point where you're okay with that. And I was like, I don't know how to make that happen. I don't know. I honestly don't know how to make that happen. And I told her, I was like, I felt like I grieved all this when it happened. I said, but I think getting the new diagnosis and knowing that there's really nothing we can do about it. I said, kind of the finality of not being able to drive and not take a shower every day. Like, all of those things kind of coming to a close and like getting 8 years of fighting. I said, I feel like all of it's kind of just built up. I was sick just a couple of months ago. I'm sick again. I told Rob, I was like, I have some bad news. And he's like, what? I was like, I feel like I'm getting sick again. My throat has been really bothering me. I've had a lot of congestion. Hopefully it's just sinuses. So yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like every time like something happens and I'm struggling to breathe or something like that, I'm terrified I'm going to end up back in the hospital. I can't even describe the way I felt when I woke up that morning because I could not wake up. I literally thought I was dying. And so it was rough. So yeah, hopefully this made some sort of sense. I really don't have to refilm this again. I'm at 336. I didn't take a picture, but that's what I'm weighing in at, which was surprising. He's like, how much do you think you weigh? I was like, probably 345, 350. He's like, 336. I'm like, oh, so I'm only 5 pounds up. Okay, great. So, yeah. And then when we were at the hand surgeon, it was out of Baylor, and Lord have mercy on my soul. Like, the parking lot was full. Like, Baylor, what are we doing? But there was an older gentleman that was walking in with a rollator. That was like a regular size rollator, and I was like, I want that. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I want a regular size rollator. I want a regular size wheelchair. I said, I'm tired of being, having this big thing that I have to lug around. So yeah. I wish I had more positive things to talk about. I just don't, other than the photo backdrop. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I gotta take this lipstick off. It is dry AF. So that's it. That's the update. We had Burger Island on Saturday. I had leftovers yesterday. Today's a new day. Like I said, I had him get me some grapes and some carrots. Like, I'm trying to bring in a little bit of fiber. And doing it in a very controlled way. Like, I allowed myself, I think it was like 6 little baby carrots. And then I had like 4 or 5, maybe 10 grapes. Not today, yesterday. Had some watermelon, had a couple of pieces of that today. So I'm not binging on it. And that's how I told her too. I was like, you know, I haven't been like binging in the sense that I'm eating too much and I'm too full. I said, I feel like I'm binging on carbs. And then I'm like, well, maybe a carb bender is a better word. I said, because, you know, I've just been eating them and eating them and eating them and eating them. And I said, I'll go a good 6 or 7 days and I'm done great. And then I will like go off playing for a day and then there's no getting back on for another 6 or 7 days. I said, I want to break this pattern and I need help with it. So yeah. Like, therapy is hard work. Like, doing the work, like, you're doing the work. You're doing the work. And that's what I have to keep in mind, is that I am doing the work. I am doing the work. I'm trying to change the patterns. I'm trying to, you know, let go of using food as a coping mechanism. And it's hard. Because, again, it's how I grew up. Like, unlearning 40 years of it is just, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what will that feel like? And she's like, well, what else do you? I was like, shopping. She's like, oh. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that one either. I've been very proud of myself. There's been a couple of eyeshadow palettes that I've wanted, and I said, Misty, you've worn makeup about 5 times in the last 8 months. I don't think buying makeup right now is the smart idea. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Did I tell you guys there was a lidocaine patch shortage? I think I did. So having to pay out of pocket for lidocaine patches is bullshit. I need to sit down and call around to some other pharmacies. The problem is, like, the ones you get at like CVS or Walgreens are like plasticky. The ones I like, are they felt? They may be felt, or I think they're felt, and they just stick better. And the guy at CVS one time, he's like, well, you can use some adhesive tape. I'm like, I'm allergic to adhesive tape. I cannot. It literally eats my body. So no tape for me. That's why I love Coband, and I'm forever grateful to the guy who created that. The vet. Wasn't it a vet? I don't remember. Anyway. Ramble, 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 ramble. Ramble, 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 yeah. I hope you guys are doing better. Check in down below. Let me know how you're doing. It didn't help that today I got a memory on Facebook about the whole ordeal in 2022 with the abscess and stuff. Maybe I need to hide that one if I figure out how to do that. You know, it's just, and I said this year has just been rough. I mean, I've been in the hospital twice. Well, I wasn't admitted back in January, but I was at the hospital for almost 20 hours. It felt like, I think it ended up being like 15 or 16. I don't remember. But I said, and even then, I said, that was the very first time I've ever gone to the hospital specifically for pain. And I said, you know, and I turned down morphine. I just asked for Toradol and a steroid. I said, I wasn't, you know, I was more concerned about getting the inflammation down rather than trying to take a pain pill. And I'm not saying to do it that way. Don't take that the wrong way. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't like morphine. And for the most part, hospitals won't offer you anything. He said, I can give you something that's a little stronger than morphine. And I was like, I don't like morphine. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the way I feel after I take it. I don't like it whatsoever. So Toradol is basically my backup. And I guess ketamine? I don't know. I didn't even realize that was used as pain medicine or whatever. it ain't helping me. That's for goddamn sure. Okay, so that's it. This was a rambly mess, but I'm posting it. This is real life, y'all. I like this eye look today. I went very minimal on the makeup. Minimal for me. It's very demure. It's very mindful. I wanted to do a reel doing that where I have like a really bright eye makeup on, because that's my favorite to do. So yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, again, I'm sorry that this wasn't a more upbeat update. But, you know, good news from the hand surgeon. Got everything squared away for the pain management, so I don't take my Wegovy this weekend. What was the other thing? Oh, the immunologist. Really liked him. He, you know, it didn't make it about my weight. He just read the results and read the report, and we're doing the thing to the thing, and we're going to get shit done. And I'm going to be able to just kind of turn down the volume on this issue. Hopefully. Please, please, please. All right, friends, that's it. Again, check in down below. I don't know what it is about August and September, you guys, but there is something always going on. August, September, January, February. Like, those are the 4 months that are almost always the hardest for me. For real. I want to try. I want an electric trike. Will insurance buy me an electric trike? If I say it's like a scooter, I really want one. We got to do the bathroom first. I told Rob, I was like, we need to go ahead and call somebody. We've been waiting on, I want board and batten in there, like in trim. And Rob doesn't want to do it. And we found a kit, but the problem is all of our walls are textured, and we would have to sand it down because there's not a board for it to attach to. They would just be going over the wall. And I'm like, can we ask them if they can do that kind of millwork? Because everything else I found in the Dallas area is commercial. And then Home Depot had panels, and I can't find them again. And I'm like, gosh darn it, Missy, this is why you need to. And we don't need a lot. I think we have like a 9-foot run, and then we need like another 3 feet. And that's it. Like, we don't need a ton of it done. I just want it done. And he wants it done too. So I thought board and batten would be really cute in there. I still haven't decided on trim color. I don't know. Anyway, see, rambling. I love you guys. I love you. She said, have you thought about like being like a mentor about, working your way through trauma and stuff like that? And I'm like, well, I have my YouTube channel where I share my journey. I don't know that I'm necessarily the expert on dealing with trauma. Clearly, I'm not doing the best job ever. And I'm going bald, you guys. Like, I am losing it at a very rapid pace. And I don't know what I am. It's just one more thing. I will try to update you guys again in the next couple of days. I will share with you what I'm eating. Like I said, I've been doing chicken Caesar salad and that little garlicky bread I told you about from Low Carb Love, but putting pepperoni on it. I haven't completely lost my mind and gone like full carb attack, but I don't know. And I keep thinking, well, maybe you need to go addition instead of restriction. And that's what I keep getting all over my feed. And I'm like, I don't know that just going in a calorie deficit will help anything. You know what I mean? Because I still have to worry about my blood glucose levels. And I know that some things just make it go through the roof. And so it's like, I don't know. Like, do I just go in a calorie deficit to see if it works out? They work out together? I honestly just don't know. And that's been a struggle too. Anyway, I love you guys so very much. Like, you guys keep me going. I appreciate it. Like I said, the membership should be live. It's 99 cents a month. And I don't have anything planned for in there. So once we get people in, we can decide on what you guys really want from me. Again, I really just kind of want a private, safe place for people. There's also the Facebook group. I will try to remember to link that down below. But people aren't on Facebook, and I wanted to give you guys some options. It's meant to be a supportive, safe place for people who struggle with chronic illness, chronic pain, or somebody who's trying to lose, weight. You don't have to want to lose 100 pounds to join us. It's really just, and you don't have to be just a woman to join us either. The amount of hate and vitriol online towards fat people is just unreal. It's like you want us to lose weight, but yet you hurl Ozempic and surgery as an insult. You want us to lose weight, but you make fun or shame people for being in the gym. You want us to lose weight, but then you say that us sharing our journey is promoting or glorifying obesity. Make that one make sense. We're not glorifying anything. We are allowed to live. Fat people can exist. It'll be okay. We've been around for centuries. Like, it's not a new concept. And I just don't understand why we are making content with the strict purpose of shaming people. It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah.